What's good, everyone? It's Nigel here, Trinidad Empowerment Network. So today, I wanted to ask you this question. Why is Trinidad so poor when it's actually so rich? So let me ask you this simple question. A country with a population of roughly 1.4 million and a GDP, gross domestic product, meaning the amount of money the country produces from its natural resources, which is oil and gas, 30 billion. A population of 1.4 million with a GDP of roughly 30 billion has broken infrastructure, broken hospital, broken roads, families living paycheck to paycheck. How can a country with 30 billion GDP be in this position? I'm going to break this down for you. The money in Trinidad isn't going to you. The money in Trinidad is being siphoned off legally and illegally by a system rigged for the rich. Let me say that again. The money in Trinidad is being siphoned off legally and illegally by a system designed for the rich. On paper, every man, woman, and child in Trinidad should be getting around 21,000 US dollars a year. Every man, woman, and child, based on our GDP. But most people see a fraction of that. So where's the money going? Where is that money going? Let's follow the money. First, the tax scams, big corporation, especially the oil and gas industry, take billions in waivers from government, while a market vendor is at the side of the road selling apples and oranges pay tax. 14 billion in corporate tax breaks since 2016. 14 billion in corporate tax breaks since 2016 given to businesses. Then there's the capital flight. Capital flight is the money that leaves Trinidad for offshore accounts. The money that leaves Trinidad for offshore accounts. So we're talking about luxury real estate in Miami and Dubai, shell companies in Panama, the Pandora papers. Google it to get your information from that. That would tell you a lot about where politicians and the elites are hiding their wealth while your school can't afford to buy a textbook. And here's the sickest part of all of this. They're blaming you. They're blaming you for the state that the country is currently in. They will tell you the country's struggling, that we all have to tighten our belt. But ask yourself, who's actually tightening theirs? Who's holding them to account? Who's holding the politicians to account? Who's holding the elites, the millionaires and the billionaires in this country to account? Who's holding the man with the mansion in Westmoreland to account? The minister with the offshore account? Who's holding him to account? Ask yourself these questions. This isn't an accident, by the way. This is by design. This is a system the rich use to get richer. And anyone that gets richer, you have people who are, by default, getting poorer. There is no middle class in Trinidad anymore. That's been wiped out. There is no middle class. So there's a rich and there's the poor. And while those in power pretend nothing's going on, while those in power sit back pretending nothing is going on, they know full well where the wealth of Trinidad is going to. We have an election coming up. We need to hold politicians accountable or nothing changes. The crime rate stays the same. The state of emergency fixes nothing. Nothing will change in Trinidad until you, the people, hold these politicians to account. So, what do we do? I've alluded to what I believe we should be doing. First thing I think we should stop believing is that Trinidad is broke. The money is there. The money is here. It's being hoarded by the elites. It's being hoarded by the rich, by politicians. This is why you cannot get your foreign exchange. This is why you cannot get a pay rise. There are no audits of where anything is going to, where the wealth in the country is going to, where the tax returns for the elites, for the wealthy. Where's the transparency for the elite, for the wealthy in Trinidad? We need to hold these people accountable. Whoever becomes prime minister in Trinidad in the next month or so needs to be held accountable by you, the people. And if you continue to sit back and hope that they would fix this problem, you'll be sitting down for a very, very long time. Because if we don't, nothing will change. Let me say that again. If we do nothing, nothing will change. And the next generation will be left asking the same question. Why are we so poor in such a rich country? Now, I created this channel specifically to educate people to understand what is going on in your country. A country with a GDP of 30 billion US should not be in any way, in any position that Trinidad finds itself in. We're currently facing banning orders from certain visa restriction being put in by us from the UK, country I currently live in. There are visa restriction for Trinidadians. Now we've joined an illustrious list of other Caribbean islands, including Dominica and Jamaica. America has recently advised citizens not to travel to Trinidad because of the state of emergency and high crime rate. We have an election coming up and nothing's been talked about taxing the wealth and bringing the money back into Trinidad. We once had an oil refinery called Petrotrin that was laden with corruption. It was a money grab. The company went into administration because of corruption. People plowing money into the company that never went into the company. Corruption and fraud, billions of dollars in fraud, caused the collapse of Petrotrin. We're now talking about finding a foreign investor. But we do know when foreign investors come into the country, the likes of Shell and other foreign investors, they take the natural resources out of the country, and a very small percentage of that money, that wealth, is reinvested back into Trinidad. This is the problem. Until we hold the rich, the elites, the people in power, the policymakers, the politicians, until we hold these people to account, then Trinidad will remain exactly as it is. The rich will get richer. There will be no middle class. Government will ultimately control and lie to you, make as much money as they can, buy their houses in Miami, Dubai, and all over the world. And once they're finished sucking the country dry of its natural resources and wealth, they will be off. They will disappear. And that will be the last you've heard of it. What has happened to the investigation into the $1 billion that was lost by Piarco Airport when it was being they were refurbishing it, or they were laying down new infrastructure. $1 billion was lost. That was investigated, and it's been investigated for the last 20 years. No one's been arrested. We've heard nothing about the $1 billion that went missing from Piarco Airport. Look into that. Google it yourself if you've forgotten about it, if you knew nothing about it. We need to hold government to account or nothing changes. The crime rate is as it is because people are poor. No state of emergency is going to fix the issue that Trinidadians face. As simple as that. Like, subscribe to Trinidad Empowerment Network. I believe this change starts here. The more of you we have on this network, the more likely we are to hold these people to account. I'm talking about the elites in the country of Trinidad and Tobago. I'm talking about the politicians in the country of Trinidad and Tobago that's sucking the country dry of its wealth, of its natural resources. Like, subscribe. Let's create a movement. Trinidad Empowerment Network. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Tell your mom. Tell your dad. Tell your cousin. Tell them to come and join us. Subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next video. For now, much love. Take care. Peace.
With so much to say, where should I start? They finally let the best kept secret come out the vault. I played my part and I never took